The next question, and this will be answered first by Emily, is from Dave McKeone, who is Business Manager of Laborers Local 327 and a member of the Executive Committee of the Western Maine Labor Council.
Good evening. Thank you for participating tonight. Hard-working Mainers like us pay taxes, but Wall Street doesn't. The U.S. used to have a financial transaction tax, like a sales tax for huge corporations. That was ended in 1966. It was a small tax of less than 0.5% on Wall Street transactions, and that could generate hundreds of billions of dollars each year in the U.S. alone. This could be used for things like healthcare, education, public infrastructure projects. Unions in Maine support the so-called Robin Hood tax. If elected, would you vote for the financial transaction tax, a small financial transaction tax, so that Wall Street could help? Wall Street could clean up some of the economic mess that they helped create.
Thank you, David, for the question. I feel silly because I have 2 whole minutes to answer, but I could just answer your question by saying yes. Thank you. Absolutely, of course. You know, the Robin Hood tax, financial transactions tax, however you want to call it, is an example of a tax program we have that we need to take a look at and get rid of. I mean, it's about making money that's in the United States work for the United States and make sure people are paying their fair share. And we have these large transactions taking place on Wall Street. We need to make sure that there's a benefit to Main Street, in downtown Lewiston, and in downtown Bangor, and downtown Presque Isle. We need to make sure communities across the state and across this country aren't missing out because they're not playing on Wall Street. And so, to me, this is about fairness, and it's about making sure people are paying their fair share, but it's also about a larger problem related to how our tax system is really upside down. And I think we need to do more to put Main Street and working people in the driver's seat in our tax code, whether it's looking at tax cuts, tax exemptions, something I've been a real strong advocate for at the State House, something I will continue to do in Washington, is to try to bring more accountability and transparency to these tax programs. Some of them have been around for decades, and nobody ever goes back to look and say, did that actually help anybody? Did that do what it was supposed to do? Were those jobs created? Were those jobs protected? And that's wrong. Again, that's more lazy legislating. I think not only I think the financial transaction tax needs to be on the table, but I think all of the tax expenditures and tax cut programs that we have, just like I do at the state level, but at the federal level, need to be examined, need to be updated so they work for us now, not for an economy that we don't want to have anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I would certainly support the Robin Hood tax. I mean, I think that our tax policies are upside down for middle class people, but they seem to be working very fine for the people on Wall Street, and that's what's really put this country in the hole it is. In 08 with Wall Street going down, everyone losing their stocks and things like that, and then turning around and the country having to bail out all these banks that were doing all these shady practices. Where was the bailouts for people that were losing their homes and stuff like that? There were none. So, I mean, I think that, obviously taxing these financial transactions is appropriate. We are all taxed on things like that, and I think it's something that should be done. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the elite in this country, the Wall Street types, have had it their way too long. They've gotten everything they wanted. I mean, we talk about tax policy. I'm one of the few Democrats that chose not to support tax cuts for the rich in the state. I think that they've done fine on their own, and they're going to continue to do fine. I think it's time that working class people had some of these breaks, and this type of financial transaction tax actually might filter down and allow some of the people that are actually trying to make the economy in this country work get some of those breaks and get some of the things that the rich people in this country have had for far too long. I see this all the time. I mean, we've seen it just recently with the bill on call centers in the state. I was criticized for it, but I don't understand why we have to give tax breaks to companies that won't commit to keeping jobs in the United States. It just seems to be irresponsible and unbelievable that, we should even have to debate that policy. I mean, that is yours and mine tax dollars that's leaving this country, and what is the benefit of it? I don't see it. If you want our tax money, you should have strings that says, I'm going to put down shop here, and I'm going to believe in the American economy. And until we start not being scared by the elite in this country, we're going to struggle with that. And that's something that, again, I won't compromise on. I have in the past, and it's a core issue again for me.
Thank you.